The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The Knicks down one, about 4 minutes to go. OG Anunoby for three. He had 14 fourth-quarter points. Knicks take the lead and never look back. Josh Hart, in his return after an 8-game absence, was all over it tonight. 18 points to help the Knicks beat Portland 123 to 114. Great to have you with us, everyone, from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pidto along with Wally Szczerbiak. So every Knicks starter, Wally, scores at least 18 points. You got Josh Hart back making impacts on both ends of the floor, and the Knicks in the final 4 minutes and change outscored Portland 20-10.
He's like a key. You just put it in, you twist, voila, open the door. Perfect. He complements this team perfectly. He's the final puzzle piece to the starting five. And what a game. He came out at the beginning, knocked down a couple big threes for this team, and then you see his effectiveness down the stretch. The physicality that Mike Brown has been talking about for the last 3 weeks since Josh Hart went out of the game, that's what he brings. He gets every loose ball. He's one of the leaders, maybe the leader in getting loose balls in the whole entire NBA. He gets loose rebounds. He's the best rebounder at his size and under in the NBA. And then defensively, he bothered Deni Avdija with his strength and his firmness at the point of attack. It's just so good to have him back in the lineup. He helps this team so much.
So the Knicks were down, Wally, 104-103. Mm-hmm. And then they hit 4 straight threes.
Yes, sir.
Deuce McBride, 2 from Anunoby, 1 from Jalen Brunson. And this is in the last 4 minutes or so of the game, and it was lights out. It happened so quickly at times, and that's how it played out tonight.
Yeah, and, you know, they had a similar situation against Phoenix. They couldn't generate those kind of good looks. And I thought it was an interesting lineup that was out there. Mitchell Robinson was out there because of his rebounding. Josh Hart, obviously key to have out there on the floor. This Blazer team is young and athletic. Deni Avdija, he looks like the roadrunner out there. He has quick feet, really fast. Again, making the Knicks foul him all over the place. He had 25 big points. When the Knicks went down, though, Mikal Bridges makes big shots. He hit a big three from the corner and also a floater in the lane. Jalen Brunson just doing what he does with 26 points on 19 shots, also 8 assists, 6 rebounds. Donovan, oh, there's the big three by Anunoby that we're going to see on the Wally wall. And then the steals. Once you get those buckets to go, the steal, and how about the pull-up three? We were talking about that. It was a 2-on-1, and Deuce says, this is my first good look of the day. I'm taking a three. And then Anunoby again knocks down another triple. So the Knicks in the fourth quarter, last 5 minutes, they went a couple possessions in a row with 4 threes in a row, the Josh Hart steal, and then the Jalen Brunson three there. It was just an incredible way to finish the game. The offensive efficiency showed at its highest level, and the defense was really good in the fourth quarter especially.
Take a look at the numbers. The Knicks outboarded Portland. Look at the differential from the free throw line. 22 makes for Portland on 25 attempts. The Knicks only attempted 8 free throws, and Wally, they won the game anyway by 9. They had the 32 assists, 1 point in the paint. You see the rest of the numbers. How about winning the game when you are so far underneath your opponent in terms of the free throw category?
Well, they won the turnover game. That's another equalizer as far as possessions. They had 12. Portland had 15. And offensive rebounding-wise, they had 13 offensive rebounds to Portland's 7. So that's 6 more possessions. So that's where you make up for that kind of differential at the free throw line. And also, if you're making shots at a high clip and you're making 17 threes, shooting over 50%, you don't really need the free throw line. You'd like to get there just to make sure you're not keeping the other team going to the free throw line. But if you're getting points however you get them because you're in rhythm shooting, that's fine too.
All right, Josh Hart. And what was really interesting, and Mike Breen and Steve Novak talked to Josh about this, the way he started. Mm-hmm. He's been out since Christmas Day. 8 first-quarter points. He mentioned that Klingon, the big guy in Portland, was daring him to shoot. Hart had 3 threes in the first quarter.
I know.
He's our thrilling moment brought to you by FanDuel Casino. Get your thrill on. Hart in the game, 7 of 15 shooting, Wally, 3 of 5 from downtown, 31 minutes, 18 points. He was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a nice rhythm three, and you're right. Klingon remembers him. Klingon played at UConn. They didn't play against each other, but I'm sure he watched Josh Hart when he was a young kid. And he said, the scouting report says, let's make this guy beat us. The tush push up in transition. That's a play of the month, play of the year. Big time play there by Josh Hart. And then he's uncanny the way he can score around the paint.
And it's those type of plays, right?
Shaden Sharp getting a little dipsy-do behind the back. The ball bounced a little too high on that pass. And Josh Hart, he is like a piranha just going to those loose balls, attacking them, getting his hands on them first. He has big, strong hands. So anytime he touches the ball, it's his. Nobody else can pry it away from him. That was just a big-time effort by him. And boy, does he unlock this team in their true championship potential when he's healthy.
You know, he mentioned the heck with the scoring. Yeah, he scored 18 points, but it's the way we showed one of his steals. And there's another sequence we showed during the game. After the third quarter, when he dove out of bounds and saved the ball to create another turnover. It's the intangibles that he creates. And to your point, Mike Brown has emphasized a lack of physicality here as the Knicks came into this game, having lost 5 out of 6. What does Hart impact in terms of the physical aspect of play?
Well, in order to play physical, you need a physical body. You need to be strong. And Josh is built really tight. He's built like a brick, and he's very explosive. When you run into him, he doesn't budge. And that's why he's such a good rebounder, because rebounding is all about positioning and base and strength in your legs. So when he roots himself down there, you can't get the position that you want to steal a rebound away from him. That's the big thing. And then he's a very underrated defender. I know the Knicks talk about Mikal Bridges' length and OG Anunoby's length, and those guys are the wing stop defenders. Yes, they are with their physical tools, but what Josh Hart brings also with his ability to move his feet, his strength, and his effort, the way he blows up pick and rolls, that is so valuable to this team, and it showed tonight.
Knicks now 12-3 when Hart starts. Let us bring in Monica McNutt, help call the game on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, you gotta have Hart.
I like what you did there, Pidto. And I think that most of this Knicks team would actually, all of this Knicks team would agree with that. I mean, what a tremendous return to action. Filled the box sheet in a way that only he does. Brought the energy, brought the physicality. I thought the way that this team handled the clutch minutes was really, really impressive. Counter to what we saw in Phoenix, which I described as a little bit immature. I thought that was a really poised performance down the stretch.
Yeah, how about OG Anunoby too, Monica? I mean, he was outstanding. 9 for 15, 24 big points. I mean, this is the type of game that he unlocked offensively, where the Knicks just skyrocket and go to a new level. We saw signs of it with 9 points in the fourth quarter against Phoenix, and then backing it up again here with a big-time 24-point game.
Yeah, and he was our post-game interview, and he said, I trust myself, I trust my teammates. You just trust what you can do, because while he hit those 2 big threes in the fourth, it had gotten a little quiet from the three-point line for him in particular, but you stay with it, and I thought he did a great job of doing just that. I also would add that the times that he was defending Denny Avdia, yes, he had set 25 points tonight, but he's a terrific ball player in this league, but I thought he did a really good job, especially after picking up 2 fouls early. He was really sound defensively.
Monica, Jalen Brunson, oh, by the way, it's amazing. You watch the game, and then you look at the box score, and Jalen Brunson went for 26 points. He had 8 assists and 6 rebounds. It's like, okay. Yeah. It's amazing.
On 10 of 19,
routine, right?
Yeah, like, just, Pidto, that's a great word for it. But I think, I heard you guys before you brought me into the program talking about the energy that Josh Hart brings, right? And for everybody, it unlocks different things. But I think for Jalen Brunson, having some of the pressure relieved because of the presence of Josh Hart just allowed him to get into more of a fluid rhythm. I will say this, and I'm not going to make this an officiating thing because I don't think that was the case. I give the Blazers credit for defending without fouling for a night where the Knicks only shot 8 free throws. Like, usually I think that would be something that we would look at post-game and see it as a problem. It wasn't tonight because I thought there was tremendous balance, there was tremendous poise, and there was great energy.
Yeah, and the Knicks, with their skilled offensive players, I agree, Monica. They generate great shots. Jalen Brunson just cool, calm, and collected. And I just give him so much credit for the way he's playing this year, because he's fine with other guys running pick and rolls, taking the stress level of him bringing the ball up the floor, not having to do absolutely anything. And he's got the highest scoring average pretty much that he's had his whole entire career. And he's doing it with the ball in his hands a lot less. And that's just a credit to team basketball, and that's how this coaching staff has wanted him to play, and he's embraced it. And he's just shown that no matter what, when you need buckets, it's nice to just in pen or in Sharpie put 30 a night in under Jalen Brunson's name. And think about that.
Can't erase that. Can't erase the Sharpie.
That. Just here's 30. Just figure out how to get to the 120 with the rest of the guys. I mean, that's pretty big stuff what Jalen Brunson does.
Monica, I thought very interesting. Wally and I touched on it before we came on the air. Very tight rotation for Mike Brown. We didn't see Tyler Kolek. We saw Mo Diawara limited in terms of his minutes. We saw mainly off the bench Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride. Jordan Clarkson didn't play that much, so Mike Brown went with basically 7.5 players. Very interesting approach tonight.
Yeah, and Pat O'Keefe on the radio side actually called that out for us post-game as well. And he's like, it seems like he knows there are 2 off days coming between the next game, so he had a little bit more leeway. I think that probably was a part of the calculus, but I would also add that you really have to respect this Blazers team as defenders. I thought you needed sound ball handlers out there. And, of course, Kolek has had bright minutes, Jordan Clarkson has had bright minutes. But you combine the Blazers defense, 2 days off, and the return of Josh Hart and wanting him to really get acclimated back with the guys that he's usually on the floor with. I think that's how you end up with the rotation.
No, I think so. This was, and the other thing, like Mike Brown, he gave Kevin McCullough a couple shots, and he played pretty well. So there are times when there's an injury, maybe you can go back to him. Mo Diawara got a couple minutes, but you can just tell the difference between a guy like Josh Hart when he's back healthy in the lineup. I mean, this guy is just at an NBA level. He is ready to produce every single night, and he's just such a difference maker.
All right, Monica, great to see you as always. We'll talk to you Wednesday night with the Knicks at Sacramento. Sounds good. All right, much to come here, including Mike Brown's post-game comments. There's Dame Lillard. Josh Hart, of course, used to be a Portland Trail Blazer. Mike Brown's presser and the MSG 150 coming up.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back. The Knicks beat the Blazers tonight, 123-114. They committed 12 turnovers in the win. Mike Brown's post-game comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Our turnovers too. You know, we did a better job in the second half of taking care of the ball, so they weren't able to get out. They had 7 fast break points in the second half compared to 20 in the first half. And then, you know, Mitch and Big Cat, they were awesome on the glass. These guys had they had 3 offensive rebounds apiece. We had 16 second chance points, and one of our keys for the game was we had to keep them off the glass. But we still wanted to be who we are in offensive rebound. And you know, to hold a team like that to 7 offensive rebounds when they've been killing everybody on the glass and 7 second chance points was huge. But our activity overall, this is the first time, and I can't tell you how many games we had over 20 deflections. So our activity defensively was awesome to see, especially on the road versus a team that's playing really good basketball.
How much of the help was having Josh back?
You know, it's huge. Josh, you know, he's like I said before, you know, a lot of our guys are irreplaceable, and you know, especially a guy like Josh, he does so many little things for you. Sometimes don't even show up in the stat sheet. And so to have him back was good. And even having him back helps with our pace because he gets out and run, he throws it ahead, or he pushes the ball at an extremely fast pace, and so we get easy baskets when we're able to play like that.
You talk about him being a connector. Is it no coincidence that all 5 starters have at least 18 when he's back?
Yeah, we got guys that can score, and so it's not surprising. I didn't even know all 5 guys had at least 18, but you know, all those guys can pass, dribble, and shoot, and they're unselfish, and so that's the thing that makes it exciting for our team is when we have those guys all together. They're a lethal starting 5, and they're a lethal group that's together. So great things from Josh as well as the rest of the group tonight.
Coach, you talked about the defense, but when the team gets those big defensive stops in the fourth quarter and it leads to buckets on the offensive end, how much does that kind of shift the momentum?
It shifts the momentum a lot because you feel good when you get a stop. There's a level of confidence that just grows inside of each individual when you get key stops. Okay, and now when you get a stop and you get out and run, especially getting a good look in transition, that can kind of deflate you as an opponent or whoever we're playing against. And so for us to do that was huge. We got some big stops in that fourth quarter, and we got out, we ran, and we took the right shots.
The free throw discrepancy was pretty big, and you haven't been one to really blame the refs. You've talked about your team fouling a lot. I guess how did you observe that discrepancy and how you guys handled that adversity.
I thought our guys handled the officiating fantastic. I keep telling our guys that, we control whether we're going to win or lose, and not the officials. And sometimes it may go in our way, sometimes it may go in our opponent's way. And if we continue to lock in on what our job is, we'll 9 times out of 10 be able to control that outcome with a win. When you start barking at the officials, which we could have, because it was 6-16 at one point in terms of fouls, but if you start barking at the officials, now that takes, first of all, it takes energy away from what you're trying to do, and focus too. And now you're focused on officials instead of just going to win the game. So I applaud all of our guys, and I've been talking to our veterans, Jalen, Josh, Big Cat. Hey, you guys, it starts with you guys. You guys got to leave the officials alone so that everybody else falls in line there. And I thought our guys were fantastic tonight with it.
You guys didn't close with Cat. What went into that decision?
But we normally do. Yeah. On the minute sheet, he's there. But we strung a lot of stops together. We were getting out and going, and I just wanted to, and I will do this. If I think a group is rolling, I'll keep a group as long as it doesn't really impact somebody's minutes, drastically. And so that group was rolling, and I just kept them out there because of it.
So Mitchell Robinson played down the stretch in crunch time, just like Cat. Each of those guys had 11 rebounds. And the coach talking about Portland on the offensive glass. Wally, they actually are a better team in terms of offensive rebounding than the Knicks. Portland is second in the league. The Knicks are fourth. Portland averages 14 offensive rebounds per game. They only got 7 in this contest. And as the coach talked about, that was very significant.
Yeah, and you got Donovan Clingan out there, who's always camped out under the basket. Mitchell Robinson was out fighting him, getting better position. There were 50-50 rebounds that he was all over. And then Time Lord Robert Williams, remember that name from the Boston Celtic days? He was a guy that's always on the offensive glass, always catching lobs. And the Knicks just outworked them for all those rebounds. And that is just so valuable. All those extra possessions are big in a game on the road like this.
So we just mentioned Cat wasn't in there down the stretch, but he had an excellent game, another double-double with 20 points and 11 rebounds. 15 of his 20 came in the first half.
Yeah, Cat was really good. And you can tell the offense is getting him the ball. He had 10 shots in the first half. He was very active. Even though if he doesn't get looks and isn't a primary offensive player, he still doesn't give up on the boards. He still really attacks the offensive and obviously the defensive glass. Look at the hustle here defensively. And we were talking about it in the green room, Bill. I think the chemistry with him and Mitchell Robinson on the floor together is starting to figure it out. And that's a really good sign, because there are going to be times where Mike Brown's going to need to play ultra big and go with his really big lineup. And those two guys are starting to figure out how to complement each other. Karl Anthony Towns is learning more what he needs to do when he's the 4-man and not just the 5-man on the floor. And I think that's a great sign for this team becoming more unguardable and more versatile. That's the key. You have to be unpredictable as you move forward throughout the course of the season. And a lot of teams have game tape on you. And right now, the Knicks are starting to put in a little wrinkles that make them a lot more unpredictable.
Knicks now 25-14 after winning in Portland by 9. Josh Hart, back from the ankle injury, had 18 points. Here he is after the game.
So, Josh, how good did it feel to be back tonight?
A little painful, but it was good to get out there, get a little run in, man. Try to help the team. So missed being out there, so good to be back.
What's the hardest part about the return? Is it just conditioning? Is it rhythm, heavy legs?
A combination of some of those. I kind of had a disagreement with medical yesterday. I wanted to do a little bit more game speed stuff yesterday, and they didn't want me to do too much game speed stuff yesterday because they didn't want it to be too sore today. So we were going back and forth with that, but first 2 or 3 up and backs is the worst, and then after that it's good.
Back now from the corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. How hard, Wally, quickly? He's been out, missed 8 games, played over 30 minutes. How hard is that to do and play so well?
You got to be doing something to keep your cardio up just at a base level. but those first couple times up the floor, it burns. And he has obviously a great cardiovascular system.
So Hart was big. Jalen Brunson led the way with 26, and the Knicks win in Portland.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back. So the Knicks have a couple of days off now before the road trip continues at Sacramento, followed by a back-to-back Thursday at Golden State. Knicks are back Saturday to host the Phoenix Suns next week. They are home to Dallas on Martin Luther King Day and Brooklyn on Wednesday the 21st. We're back with more after this. Knicks are back in action on Wednesday night. Pregame 9:30 on MSG2 with the Knicks at the Kings. Tip-off is at 10. You can also stream our coverage on the Gotham Sports App. Want more than just a post-game show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports App. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.